All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here for the Virtual College Exploration Program with StriveScan and the Virginia Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Counselors. So thank you for joining us. A couple of housekeeping items before we get started. To ask questions, make sure that you are using the Q&A button at the bottom of the Zoom app for yourself. So you'll make sure you ask questions there. Make sure you know that your camera and microphone are off, so none of our panelists can see or hear you at this time. You can sign up for more sessions at strivescan.com/Virginia. So we are wrapping up our final week right now that is geared toward the first year admission process, but we have a whole nother week next week that is geared towards student experience with transferring to another institution. And then a recording of this will be available at the same site, strivescan.com/Virginia. So you can check out anything that's already been recorded at this time or anything that's being recorded this week. But I will go ahead and hand this over to our panelists. And we have about 45 minutes together today. So thank you again for joining us.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We'd like to first welcome you to our session today, where we will be talking about campus resources. We'll start off, though, by spending a little bit of time introducing ourselves. My name is Monyette Martin, and I serve as the Senior Assistant Dean of Admissions for James Madison University, which is located in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Takarla Moore, and I am the Senior Admissions Counselor at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jerry Brown. I'm one of the Assistant Directors of Admission here at Radford University in Radford, Virginia, and I recruit the Metro Richmond area, so the city of Richmond here in Virginia, as well as students from the out-of-state of Ohio.
Good afternoon. My name is Dara Logan. I'm Senior Associate Director of Admissions at the University of Lynchburg, and I work with students from the Central, South Side, and Richmond, Virginia areas.
All right. Well, we would just like to jump sort of right on in and talk to you a little bit about today, resources that are very common at our universities. We've actually all chosen several offices to highlight at our individual universities, but we will definitely throughout the presentation make connections and discuss where these services are available at most, if not all universities. So I'll get started and just talk a little bit about the Center for Community Service Learning. This office is on the campus of JMU, and this office seeks to build relationships among students, both internally and external to the JMU community. The CSL office prides itself on helping students to learn from one another and to assist them with making just and sustainable decisions within the communities. The CSL office also engages directly with communities through advocacy and helps students to align themselves with different social interests and topic areas that they find that they may be interested in during their time at our university. And the office also seeks to partner with various community organizations throughout the Central Shenandoah Valley. So we have over 100 different partners that we work with through this office. One other office that I would like to highlight today is the Center for Off-Campus Housing. This office, most students sometimes don't think about the fact that when they move off campus, they still do have access through the university to have them learn and gain some necessary knowledge and skills with regards to making informed decisions when they look to move off campus. So the off-campus housing services office is there for our students to help them make informed decisions, make them learn and help them to learn and make responsible decisions with regards to budgeting, finding out what they can afford, and just that whole transition from adjusting from living on campus and then moving off campus and having to budget and manage living off campus and being removed from various resources that are available. So the off-campus housing office is a very helpful office for those students that typically after their either sophomore or junior year look to move off campus. And it will walk them through what it is like to be a renter, having to deal with relationships or dealing with landlords, electric bills, things of that nature. So it's a great office on campus when students are trying to make that decision whether or not they are going to make that move from on campus to off campus. So I will pass it along to Carla.
Thank you, Manya. So I'm just going to jump in right behind Manya and talk about two offices here at Old Dominion. Many of you may or may not be familiar, but Old Dominion does have about a 25 to 30% next to the largest naval base in the world, which is Norfolk Naval Station and the Port of Virginia. So a lot of our members, family, extended family, children, guardians, and grandparents are all associated or affiliated with some sort of military connection. So our office has started an entire office dedicated to that. With the MCC, or the Military Connection Center, it primarily focuses on active duty veterans, dependents, and retirees, of course, of the military who are transitioning. Maybe you are coming into your educational career, maybe you're using your benefits to take some courses, or maybe you're putting a family member through school. So this office is there to support you through that transition. You know, what is it like to be back on shore duty from sea duty? You know, what is it like to now be a full-time student instead of a part-time student? What is it like to now transfer that benefit package over to you? So this office will provide all the ins and outs of, you know, how you can take advantage as a service member and you know, you providing service to America and using the education. This office will also support you from the admission point, so the entry point, all the way through the college career and beyond. So they're helping with job placements, you know, they're helping with, you know, finding internships for veterans, or if veterans are looking for work study opportunity or their dependents. So their focus is primarily on helping you just navigate the ropes as you have not been a traditional student. You'll also notice that the social and educational programming is very abundant. We have military members, officers, et cetera, that come on campus and really want to take you under their wing. So they're going to help you with some of the social and educational pieces that go with being affiliated with the military. So great office, a lot of people who are affiliated with the military. Lastly, I wanted to point out peer educators. Peer educators to me is such an important office. If you're coming in new as a new freshman and maybe you are struggling with the major a little bit, you know, maybe you want that peer advisor to help you study or just explain things in layman's terms from your point of view. They can match you with a peer that does very well in the major. It could be a grad student, it could be this particular subject, and they'll match you in a peer educator way. They also work very closely with what we call success coaching on our campus. Success coaching is beyond just your advisor, but you get a separate, almost academic coach that is assigned to you. They will work on personal issues, educational issues. They'll help you with study tips. You know, how do you find a peer advisor? How do I reach out to my instructor? Just all of the things that you may need as a supplement to just going to class and meeting with one academic advisor once a semester. Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody about how to juggle a course load, or maybe I don't know how to change my major, or I don't know, how do I study for 5 classes at once this semester and play a sport and be in 2 clubs? So they're there to be that sounding board and just be that guidance. Mentors, peer mentors, and making sure you know who to go to for coaching. So with that being said, I will turn it over to Jerry.
Good afternoon again, everybody. So at Radford University, the two services and resources that I chose to highlight are Center for Accessibility Services, which is also known as CAS. On our campus, we love to abbreviate and to shorten things here at Radford. So you will never hear anybody say the Center for Accessibility Services. You'll probably also always hear it known as CAS. And they work with any students who have any short-term or long-term disabilities, as well as any students who have who are bringing in any type of accommodations from high school. So if it could be a disability that you've had your entire life and a long-term disability, or it could be you went skiing one weekend and you had a fall and now you're on crutches, so you're taking a little bit longer to get across campus. So they are your services, and they will work with any of our students on a case-by-case basis. That can include sending an email to your professors saying, hey, we know that you're taking a little longer to get across campus, so if they're rolling in right around when class is starting, just to be known, all the way up through a lot of the accommodations that can be provided. So many of those accommodations look very similar to what you have gained and have been using in high school. So it might be extended testing time, it might be where you come and get to take your tests or your quizzes here in CAS's office. They have some completely silent rooms where they can proctor those tests and exams for you. But the biggest thing is they really meet you where you are. So no matter where you are, what level of accommodations or resources or you want to use from their office, they really are there to help you. And like I said, that can range from our having proctored tests here to even having note takers. And it's all done in a very discreet way. So they don't just say, hey, Jerry said he needs someone to take notes for him because he fell and broke his wrist, and now can we get someone to take notes for him? No, they'll say, hey, we need note takers in these classes. Can anyone sign up? And you can even get paid to do this. So this is a resource. Maybe you are really good at taking notes, or your notes are very detailed. I wouldn't personally be the person that will be able to do this because my chicken scratch is a little ragged around the edges, and my notes mean something for just myself some days. But it is a great resource for our students. And the biggest thing is we want to, and their motto is just to provide you everything that you possibly can to be successful, no matter what that is. So our goal is for you to be successful. You're here for a reason. We're here to get you to complete your academics and graduate in 4 years and continue on with the rest of your future career. And then we have the Harvey Knowledge Center. So this is like what I like to call on campus a fancy way of saying this is where all of our peer tutoring takes place. So we'll be able to offer you tutors in a variety of ways here on our campus. So these can be in large group settings as well as some more small group one or even one-on-one settings. So there are courses where we know, like college level calculus, that tends to be a course where we have a lot of requests for tutors and academic coaches. So they'll have some more large group and some more one-on-one, where it might just be one of your upper level biology courses where you say, hey, can I just get some one-on-one tutoring here? You can also become what is called an academic coach here on our campus. So they like to say that they do more than tutor you. They are really there to help you do college. I also supervise our Highlander guides, and that's what they describe to me as an academic coach as. They say, hey, we're just here to help you do college. Yes, we can be here for a specific course or a specific set of courses, but we might just need to say, hey, we're going to work on your time management skills. We're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. Maybe you don't even know how to take notes and you have no idea where to begin in that. So they're really there to assist you throughout that process. And also part of the Harvey Knowledge Center is the Writing Center. So we will be able to assist you in a variety of those writing exercises. Maybe it's even starting your paper all the way up through helping you proofread and make sure that is fine for you and that is proofread, and then you're turning in your best foot forward. So now I'm going to throw it over to Dara and the University of Lynchburg.
Good afternoon again. The first office that I would feature on our campus is the Career and Professionalism Center, and their mission is to help students explore, engage, and embark They want you to explore how your talents and interests are related to majors and careers. They want you to engage in career development courses, workshops, programs, and internships. And they want you to be prepared to embark on your career. So I strongly encourage students their first year to take advantage of the resources and services that are provided by the center. They started a couple of years a program called Professionalism Plus, and it's a tiered program that has bronze, silver, and gold levels. The range of services they offer are helping you with your resume, cover letter, mock interviews, etiquette dinners, helping you with your social media branding. And there's also opportunities to network with alumni through a program we call Hornet to Hornet during our homecoming weekend. So we definitely encourage students to take advantage of the resources through their office. Not only do they assist students, but they provide services for alumni and employers. And they recognize that the student, alumni, and employee network is very important and essential to the success of our students. So again, I encourage you to take advantage of that. They also have job fairs that we will host on campus. And they also try to connect students with off-campus events when appropriate and safe for our students. The other office is the Office of Student Engagement and Leadership Development. Of course, you need to find that balance when you are in college. You know, your focus is, of course, academics, but we want you to have fun. And at the same time you're having fun, we want you to learn and develop skills that will serve you well during your time at the University of Lynchburg and beyond. So getting involved with the student engagement and leadership development is an expectation for our students, not an option. Because through your involvement in these clubs and organizations, you will learn networking skills, communication skills, leadership development opportunities. So it's definitely going to be beneficial for you. This office works very closely with our Student Government Association, Student Activities Board, intramural sports, club sports, fraternities and sororities. We have an outdoor leadership program that sponsors trips for students to go hiking, canoeing, skiing. We also have a high and low ropes course on our campus to help facilitate working together within our student clubs or organizations. And they work with our 60 to 70 clubs and organizations that we have on campus. So we definitely encourage students to take advantage of that, to see the benefit of being involved in our Office of Student Engagement and Leadership Development. They will host leadership development opportunities on campus through workshops and sessions throughout the year. And again, we also try to connect students to professional developments offsite as well. This year will most likely be virtual, but we do try to plan and provide these resources for our students.
Great, thank you, Doris, so much. So as we all have introduced these various resources, I just wanted a specific question about a specific resource or one of our campuses. Feel free to use the Q&A. If not, we will just continue to pump you with information until we get a question. So I did want to toss out there for my colleagues, how would one go about connecting with these offices, especially during these COVID times? What can students and families be doing to be proactive about making sure they know about the services and that they're able to connect? And I'll go ahead and toss that over to Monette.
Thank you, Takarla. Students, we really want to strive to have you reach out to these various departments via our websites. Some of them also have been featured during our open house events, our virtual open house event. So please be mindful of that and be more than welcome to check out our websites. As you look across our websites and just through our slide that we presented here, all of us share these common resources. So you can definitely, go to Radford's website and look up the Career Center there and see what activities and things they have going on. And we strongly encourage students and empower students to please reach out to those departments, the staff on those departments. Feel free to email them, call them. Pretty much everyone is doing virtual programming right now, but for the most part, they are ready and willing to talk with you and assist and answer any questions, especially I know for JMU, if you have some disability services questions, that office is up and running and staffed virtually to be able to assist you and help you with getting through that process of transferring that information over from your high school district over to the university setting. So I would strongly recommend that you spend some time at our websites and checking out our services that we have available. As Jerry stated, most colleges and universities are going to use acronyms. So for example, at JMU, you probably won't hear someone talk about or say fully the Center for Community Service Learning. You'll hear it referred to most commonly as the CSL office. So you students, please do get used to acronyms. I'm still trying to learn all the acronyms that happen at JMU and figure out what office or department certain titles stand for. But definitely we encourage you to be active and engaged in this process by going to our websites and reaching out to our staff and administrators.
Great, thank you, Monyet. And as students and families are just looking to connect and gain information during this time, is it best for them to schedule one-on-one appointments? Do you recommend seeing you in person, or should they be looking strictly at your website? Jerry, do you want to talk a little bit about what happens at Radford?
I think that can vary from campus to campus. So for us here at Radford, we actually have started welcoming visitors back to campus. So we are open for visitors back on campus for campus tours and various meetings with faculty and other offices on our campus. So we do have some protocols set up by the university in which students and families do have to complete a campus visitor registration, as well as they're completing a symptom tracker tool. But so we are meeting with families as they come in. So those can be some one-on-one meetings. We're also having some virtual opportunities. So I really would encourage families and students to reach out to the individual universities and just kind of feel out where you are and your comfort level. So by all means, if you feel comfortable visiting campus and coming in and walking around, and then say you want to set up a meeting with CAS as well, we can do that for you. Or maybe you say, hey, maybe we're gonna wait out till the spring, but we want to meet with you, and is there a way we can meet virtually? And we have Zoom and everything like that. So I would really just encourage you, after you check out the website, to check out some of the resources and see which resources you say, okay, I know I have a military background, so I know I'm looking at ODU. I know I need to check out the Military Connection Center. Maybe you check that out online and then reach out to the individual institutions as well. So kind of twofold there.
I will echo Jerry on that. It will probably vary from campus to campus, and Dara, I'll let you get in there too. I know that at some campuses, they're more open to receiving guests and visitors than others, depending on the capacity of the campus and just the staffing and what can happen. So I definitely recommend doing the research and just seeing what those limitations are.
Yes, I definitely echo the comments that Jerry and Takarla have shared, but I'll also add, if you don't know exactly where to start, if you're interested in a particular institution, contact us in the admissions office and we will be happy to direct you to the appropriate person. More than likely, we will know if someone from their office is willing to meet with you in person or if their preference is virtual, but either way, we will make the connection so that your questions are answered.
Absolutely. And when it comes to just looking up resources and just being a prepared student, how important is it that we think students need to schedule a one-on-one with their admissions person, or should they just go through admissions first? Is there a preference, or should families and students be aiming for admissions first? What do you think on that, Monyet?
I think that families and students should be aiming to do one-on-ones. I'm finding that those one-on-one sessions are really helping students and their parents to get answers to questions that they may not otherwise get in larger form. So please, by all means, I know I've shared with you in my background, using Calendly is how I am speaking with students and parents on a one-on-one basis. And so, that is just come prepared with questions, definitely come prepared with questions. And we'll be more than happy to actually assist you. And one of the nice thing about virtual is that I'm finding that I can actually share my screen. And so that allows me to be able to actually assist you and your families to the specific places on our websites, just in case it's a little bit difficult for you to find. But we can sort of talk through answering your question right there in our session. So, it's all about what makes you comfortable, but definitely the one-on-one sessions have been very, very helpful for many families and students. I've gotten really great response from being able to provide that service. So there are some positives to this whole virtual world when it comes to admissions now.
Thank you, Manya. Also, I wanted to just throw out there the virtual landing pages that many universities have developed out of this COVID time. A lot of us have a landing page where you can get virtual resources, and you can also catch the links to virtual tours, virtual sessions. I noticed a lot of the departments have now been doing their own demonstrations and sessions. So it is a great way to connect with campuses just by looking at that virtual landing page and just kind of seeing, what are the campuses doing in terms of providing these different services. Anything to add to that, Jerry or Dara?
No, I just, like you said, Takala, I think the biggest thing is to kind of take advantage of your resources, and that the websites are very much a breadth of information. So check that out first, and then continue to reach out, like Manette said, whether it be via Calendly or you're emailing us or giving us a phone call. We are more than willing to meet with you. And I think me and Manette always joke that people think that we're scary. I think in admissions, we get a myth of being very scary people, and that, oh, we look for ways to say no, when that's absolute, that can be further from the truth. We're looking for ways to say yes, and we're looking for ways to be able to help you and to be able to make your dreams become a reality. So I did have one question for the group. I think on all campuses, one of the most underutilized resources are with career services or career and talent development, or So let's just talk about career talent development, and why do students not use these resources, and let's kind of plug and make our career people happy, and plug those specific offices.
Gary, thank you for bringing that up. Outside of admissions, the Center for Career Services or Academic Advising is very near and dear to my heart, because prior to admissions, I spent a number of years working in the Career Center and promoting our services to students that would oftentimes stumble across our office because of a friend, or just happen to walk by because they're wondering what our office really was and what we did. So most of, if not all of our campuses do offer very robust career services and or professional development offices. And this tends to be, for some unknown reason, one of the underutilized, as Jerry stated, offices and departments on campus, but they're quite frankly one of the most helpful offices from the time you step on campus till the time you leave campus, and even beyond. And that was one of the reasons why we actually decided to sort of address this topic today of campus resources. But the Career Services Office will help you with, in many cases, even from deciding on a major. Having you as a freshman, you may come in as an accounting student, like I did, not knowing really what accounting was all about. And the Career Center really will walk you through steps and various assessments to really hone in on what really is your interest, what really are your abilities and your skill set to be able to work in certain careers, and or how those careers match up with majors. So, Oftentimes students don't even stop to think, they want to be engineering majors or major in engineering, but they're more creative, which is a great skill to have, but then they may not necessarily have the math or the science aptitude for that major. So that's what career services is there for, to help you sort of narrow down those options and those choices. Because when you get to college, it can be very overwhelming sometimes when you have so many different majors, so many different minors, things of that nature. And then beyond that, the career services offices do a great job of setting up shadow opportunities, internship opportunities, whether they're paid or unpaid. We have major Fortune 500 companies that come to our campus and have recruited our students for years and years. And so they return. Our alumni use the career services office as a one-stop shop when they're looking to hire students. I think Dara mentioned that we all have what we call on-campus interviewing opportunities. So this is where, again, companies come on campus, interview students for internships and or full-time employment. And that's how many of our students will have job opportunities waiting for them when they graduate. So it is definitely one of those offices on campus that I truly challenge and encourage students to engage with as soon as you step foot on campus. Pretty much after that first semester, I would recommend doing that. They will help you write your resume. Many of us have resume databases. They probably, I think ours is through Handshake, and we probably have an acronym for that as well. But even with that, with the database, the office and the staff will do searches for you when your resume is in there. And so companies will call and say, can you send me resumes from ODU of students who are graduating or graduated in May with an English degree? And so, they'll do a search, send your resume out, and you oftentimes won't even know that your resume has landed on the desk of an employer. So I strongly encourage students. Another nice program or caveat that they also provide for students is the etiquette. How do you perform how do you present yourself during a formal either interview, lunch, or a dining experience with a company? There's so many different styles to dining etiquette. So they will do an official dining and etiquette program for students. So please, I strongly encourage students to use that particular department on their campuses.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here as well too. I think two of the reasons may be, one, students don't know, and this is with a lot of resources, they don't know that they need the services that are provided. And so I think the challenge is making the students aware, one, that the office or center is available and how their resources and service can be beneficial to them. So that's one challenge. And then the second reason, I think, is because they always think they have time. I'm just a first year student. I don't need to be working on my resume. I don't need to be worrying about how to interview or how to conduct myself at an etiquette dinner or how to network or the importance of social media and having a positive footprint there. So they think that they have time to do these things. Whereas if they start and take advantage of the resources their first year, they're ready when those opportunities present themselves. As you are networking with your faculty and professors and alumni and others, opportunities may arise. And if you already have your resume available, you can just hand it to them and say, please consider me for this opportunity. But if you don't have those resources available, students find themselves scrambling, trying to get a resume together, remember what they did their freshman and sophomore year, the leadership opportunities they've had. And they a lot of times miss out on things that could definitely be included in the resume to help them set themselves apart from their peers. So I think it's a combination of not knowing the resources and knowing that they need them. And then also, they have time.
And I'd add to that too, Dar, that I agree totally that it's not knowing, but also it's a good habit for students to start getting into with regards to, like you mentioned, networking. The more you do it, the more comfortable you become. And it's a lifelong skill that ultimately, you begin to net with your professors. And one common theme with all of these resources is all of these resources are designed to help the student be successful. So no matter what university you may find yourself landing, just know that these resources are, again, here to help you and make you be a more successful person, successful leader, successful citizen in the community, and beyond the universities of choice.
Thank you, Monette. I also wanted to jump in and just echo in regards to collaborating and just getting all of your information together, as Dara stated, from freshman through grad school or senior year, you can develop what's called an Eportfolio. So it kind of keeps track of the internships you've done, the volunteer work you've done, all of your, part-time jobs, all of the shadowing and researching. That way, in your senior year, when you're ready to apply to a graduate school or your first job of choice, you have a nice portfolio of everything you've done, and you don't have to go back and remember, who did I do that internship, or who did I, everything will be together. So I think starting at freshman year and just building everything is really going to help you in your senior year. And then also, once you become a senior, most likely you can still utilize the services as an alum. So if you still need somebody to help you with that resume, or if you still need access to the database for the college, or not the college fair, the career fair, I'm thinking about college fairs, the career fair, you can still be part of that as an alum. So I think these are great things to think about when it comes to career services.
Absolutely. And I just want to quickly say ditto to everything that my colleagues have shared. And I think students, I think what Monette said was very, very key there about realizing you need, and Dara mentioned about realizing you need those resources, but also students feel like, don't feel afraid that you say, hey, we're going to check these resources out. I strongly encourage just sometimes taking a dive. And I think college is very much a time of new beginnings and learning new things, and maybe even trying different varieties of food or meeting new people. So approach your resources and checking out other resources that way as well, and just say, hey, yeah, I'm going to go check out this resume writing workshop, or I'm going to stop in the Center for Career and Talent Development, or the Career Center, or wherever that specific name is on those campuses, and just say, hey, yeah, we're gonna kind of check this out and see where we go from here.
And we would be remiss to not also mention the fun resources. I know everybody wants to know about Greek life, leadership and student activities, people want, or community service board, or whatever it is, concert planning, homecoming committee. Those are all the fun things that people often come to college, and those are the services you run to because they're experiences. So you're thinking, okay, let me go get involved in all the fun things. And so we don't want to dim the lights, of course, on our student affairs folks and all of those types of resources as well, on top of what we've provided today. So I think it's great to really hone in and just see what's going to be your activity of choice, and utilize the services. The beauty of it is you can actually utilize these services at all times. So it's not like a freshman year service, a sophomore year service. You can really continue to tap into these offices as needed. And I think it's important as a student to just remember to tap in, because you get busy and you get involved in other things, and you may forget about that, career center or that peer education. Well,
And I think a good thing to note about student activities is, while you are having fun, some of those opportunities can be just as important in your development as the other resources that we're talking about. Once you find your niche and you get involved in those clubs and organizations that are important to you, then naturally you're going to start to take on more of a leadership role. And that can definitely serve you well during your time at that institution and beyond as well too. So yes, have fun, but realize the fun can be beneficial for you as well too.
Yes, Dara, I totally agree. I have to ditto you with that, because I know I myself was able to connect with organizations at my campus when I was an undergrad that ultimately have parlayed themselves into what I currently am doing in my career. So, I actually worked in the admissions office as a student through a student organization, and so just my connection with that what allowed me the opportunity to have an excellent mentor in the admissions office who ultimately suggested that I apply to graduate school and pursue higher education. So, you never know where those experiences and those connections will take you and will land you. So I second that wholeheartedly, that you definitely want to always be mindful of not only your in-class experiences, the support services academically, but also those social connections that you also make on your campuses and align yourself with.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts from the group on anything that we need to bring home or reiterate from our participant? Any questions, thoughts, comments?
All right. Well, you all have done such a great job that there are no questions. And I really appreciate all the information that was shared. I think it'll be a really great resource for students who weren't able to make it today to reference later. So thank you for that. I'll go ahead and wrap up with one last slide for any of our participants. So right here, you will see, let me get it to the front. You'll see a 4-question, hang on. You'll see a 4-question quick survey at the end of this. Please be sure to fill that out. That is what helps StriveScan with future programs that we may be participating in. Sign up for more sessions. Like I mentioned, we have our final week of freshman sessions happening right now, and next week is geared towards students who are looking to potentially transfer. So strivescan.com/Virginia is where you will find those. And a recording will be available of this session and all sessions that have taken place over the past few weeks as part of this virtual college exploration program. So if you need anything, please let us know. And thank you so much for joining us today. Bye, everyone.